Imagine this. You open your fridge. You pick up a cup of yogurt. It looks fine. It smells fine. But then you notice the date on the lid. It passed yesterday. Now you pause. Do you eat it? Or do you throw it away? Welcome to Simply Fascinating, where we take simple things you see every day and uncover what's really behind them. Today we're going to break down what expiration dates really mean, what those labels are actually telling you, what they're not telling you, and how to tell for yourself whether food is still safe to eat. Because once you understand this, you might never look at those dates the same way again. To understand this, we need to go back to where these dates came from. For most of human history, food didn't come with labels. People relied on experience. If something smelled bad, you didn't eat it. Simple. But as food production changed, things became more complex. Food started traveling long distances. It stayed on shelves longer, and it was sold to people who had no idea how it was made or stored. So the industry needed a system, not to tell people exactly when food becomes dangerous, but to ensure consistency, to guarantee that products still meet a certain level of quality. That's where these dates came from. You've probably seen labels like Best Before, Sell By, Use By. They sound similar, but they mean very different things. Best Before is about quality. It's the manufacturer saying, this is when the product will taste its best. After that date, the food might lose some freshness, but it doesn't suddenly become dangerous. Sell By isn't even for you. It's for stores. It tells retailers how long they should keep a product on the shelf. But you can still use the product after that date if it's been stored properly. Use By is the closest to a safety guideline, especially for perishable items. But even then, it's based on ideal conditions, not an exact moment when food suddenly becomes bad. We take all of these different labels and treat them as one thing, a strict deadline, as if food follows a timer. Safe one day, dangerous the next. But that's not how food works. Food doesn't suddenly change at a specific moment in time. It changes gradually. The date doesn't reflect what's happening inside the food right now. It reflects a general estimate based on controlled conditions. In fact, in many cases, these dates are set by the manufacturers themselves. They test products under specific conditions, temperature, packaging, storage time, and then choose a date that guarantees the product still meets their standards, not necessarily the last day it's safe to eat. And to reduce risk, those dates are often conservative, which means the food often lasts longer than the label suggests. So if the date isn't a strict answer, what should you rely on instead? The most direct answer is simple: your senses. Start with smell. If something smells sour, off, or unusual, that's a clear warning sign. Then look at it. Changes in color, visible mold, or anything that looks different than expected, those are signals you shouldn't ignore. And finally, texture. If something feels slimy, sticky, or just not the way it normally should, it's probably time to throw it away. Because unlike the printed date, your senses are reacting to what's actually happening in the food right now. Of course, this doesn't mean you should ignore dates completely. There are situations where they do matter more, especially with highly perishable foods like raw meat, fresh seafood, or unpasteurized dairy. In those cases, bacteria can grow quickly and the margin for error is much smaller. So next time you open your fridge and see that same situation again, a yogurt, a carton of milk, or anything with a date that just passed, pause for a moment. Instead of reacting automatically, take a second to evaluate what's actually in front of you. Because that small printed date was never meant to make the decision for you. It was meant to guide you, not replace your judgment, and understanding that can help you make better decisions every single day. If this changed the way you think about food, share it with someone who always throws things away just to be safe, and subscribe to Simply Fascinating for more simple things that turn out to be a lot more complex than they seem.